on a ferry from Vancouver to Vancouver Island, where Victoria, my today's destination, is located. And I'm going there mostly for the totems that are there. Like, actually, honestly, like the hotel person, like the guy working in the hotel, I don't know if he's the owner or he's the employee, I don't know. He was surprised that I'm going to Victoria. He said, oh, you can stay in Vancouver, there's like Victoria is far away. I mean, it's a few hours going from Vancouver, it's like 4 hours, because you have to first go by bus and then you have to go by ferry and then you have to go by bus. But I didn't have to book all of those things like separately, because I booked a bus that just takes you to the ferry, rides on the ferry, and then takes you from the place that, you know. So I think the ferry price was included in that, and I have everything like together, so it was very convenient. And right now I'm on a ferry. I'm not on there's also one deck above me. I think you can also, like, I don't know if there's a roof on the on the one above me, but first I just wanted to go to bathroom. So, and I really needed to like go. I just wanted to go to any deck that has bathrooms as soon as possible. And I think there are like 2 decks for people, because rest are for the cars, I think. So it's very beautiful. I started having flashbacks to my trip that I had after finishing high school with my friends. We also went on a ferry, but we went to Sweden and we went to Finland. We went to like those countries, like we went to Baltic countries and to Scandinavian countries. We went to Estonia, Latvia, Sweden and Finland. And I was the most interested in Sweden and Finland because I have been to Latvia and Estonia before. So and these were like new for me. And that was like the most convenient way to visit them, because I couldn't find like flights that were like cheaper than all of this excursion. That was, everything was together. And also we would always sleep on the ferry, and we would like wake up in the morning and then we would see the city, and then we would go back to the ferry and swim to another city, like sail to the other city. We weren't swimming in the water, we were sailing to the other city. And we had a lot of fun, honestly. Like, I have very good memories from that. At least I had a lot of fun. I don't know about my friends. Maybe they didn't have fun. Anyway, so I started having flashbacks to that. And I started thinking, oh, maybe I would try something like that again, but it will not be the same, because like back then we could get it like very cheap, because that was before Corona, before the inflation. And right now probably that would be like few times more expensive. Probably. This is actually super cool. It does this thing there, and the whole story is super cool. By the way, it's still on the ferry in which I'm sailing. I just ate breakfast in this place, and while it was really good, like for example the French toast, and which I really usually don't like toast, they usually have no flavor to me. It was quite good, like for a toast. And I ate an oatmeal, which I haven't eaten in a while, and to be honest I kind of missed it. And it had maple syrup and different fruits. It was really good, and the place was pretty pretty, but it was so expensive. It was so expensive. Probably that's why they didn't have like prices written outside. And right now I'm in Victoria. We arrived some time ago already. I'm going to my hostel, which is luckily in the downtown Victoria. It's right in the city center. But the place to which I want to go is quite far away from it, because it's in the south end of Victoria. Because I want to see the world's tallest totem, and there's also like totems in the city center that I also will see on the way. I already saw them when I went outside the bus, but I didn't like go close because I was going to go to bathroom as soon as possible anyway, and that's why I went to that place where I didn't really know the prices. And it seems that my hostel is right next to Tim Hortons, luckily. And this is one of the places where I plan to go before I leave Canada. And I also plan to eat beaver tails, but not today, but tomorrow maybe. And this church is very nice. Like, it does have a smaller town vibe, because it's a smaller town. Like, I think usually on the island everything is like goes slower, the life is slower. That's why people like islands. That's why a lot of the times I find islands quite boring. But I'm not one of those nature loving, slow life loving people. I like places with a lot of people, but on the other hand I kind of do understand it, because like staying in a traffic jam half of the day is not really a nice thing. And also like being squeezed in a tram or in a subway is also not a nice thing. So I kind of do understand that. It seems that a lot of people go there for a holiday, because like I saw a lot of people like having those when you have this thingy, I think it's a trailer where you have like you know, like inside you have like a bus where you live. I saw people with those ones. Why did I forget what they are called? I actually am dreaming about having a one. Like they are so cool. I saw some people with such a cool one. It was like basically a size of a bus. And I was like, damn, that's like having an entire house inside. Also, I will look if these are also like, if the prices here are also so expensive. Because like, that was so expensive, that place. And I'm also not a really breakfast person. And that place is also only like a breakfast place. But there was like a really big choice of breakfast. I usually don't eat a lot for breakfast, and most certainly I wouldn't want to be spending a lot on breakfast. Because like, yeah, people say it's like the most important meal of the day, but I disagree, because my body is not awake yet in the morning. Right now it's not morning, that's why I ate breakfast, because it was like more like a lunch. Because just after I'm awake, my body doesn't want to eat anything, and even if I try to eat something more than, I don't know, a piece of bread, I get a stomachache, because my body is like, no, I'm not awake, don't do that to me. So no, I really don't like eating breakfast bigger than, you know, a croissant or something. That's it for me for breakfast. I feel bad all day if I eat something bigger than croissant for breakfast. Like, I don't know why, my body just works like that. And actually, recently I heard from a person who is a dietitian that actually that's like a old news, that you should eat big breakfasts. And actually right now people, a lot of nutritionists, like, I'm not a nutritionist, this is what this person said, and she is a one. Right now they actually think that it's better, you know, if you're not a breakfast person, so you just don't force yourself to eat breakfast, because this is the way your body works. And I agree with that, because when I try to force myself to eat breakfast, I don't feel good. So what's the point? Just because people say I should eat breakfast doesn't mean, I mean, I should eat any breakfast. And I always force myself to eat anything for breakfast, because then I have stomachache if I don't eat anything at all. Because not eating for many hours is also not healthy and can give you stomachache. So I try to eat anything, but I never eat big breakfasts, because then I also get stomachache. Yeah, this place is nice. I prefer bigger cities, but I just arrived, so it's difficult to say. I mean, it's nice. You know, my hostel is quite close to this place. And like, right now I'm in the downtown, but I went to Victoria mostly for the totems. I like totems, I think they're amazing. And I'm going to be seeing them today. My hostel just right next to a synagogue. And this is my hostel, and it's very colorful inside and very lovely. And honestly, this town is so strange. Like, oh my god, like, it's so weird. Like, there's so many drunk people there. Like, not drunk, high. There's so many high people there. I'm afraid of them. Like, I'm afraid of people who are on drugs, and there's like a lot of people who seem to be on drugs. I'm so surprised, because like in other Canadian cities there's like less people like this, I think. Like, I haven't seen that many, and in this city they're so weird. And I was thinking, like, in a small town like this it will be very peaceful, and there are a lot of people that are high. So, and I'm always afraid of high people, so. And yeah, I wasn't making a mistake. I do have Tim Hortons next to my place. And I'm going to the totems, and I'm going like kind of not exactly the main alley that I was walking before, because there was a lot of scary people there, and yeah, I don't really feel very comfortable when random people are being weird and saying weird things and behaving weird, because I never know what they're going to do, even though I'm weird myself all the time. So, but I don't need drugs for that. Maybe I would be normal if I took drugs. Maybe that would happen. That would be the first time in my life. So, anyway, actually, I was today talking to my friend about how, you know, we try to be normal and it never works out. You know, we both. He's such a weirdo. I'm so happy I met him. Like, he's so weird. I never thought that I would meet somebody as weird as me. So we are both very weird, and like I can relate to him because he's weird too. So yeah, even we have very similar coping mechanisms. That's why people don't understand us, because they think that we are being, I don't know, distasteful or something, and we just have humor as a coping mechanism. So we both have like very dark sense of humor, and like actually I think his traumas are so bad, like worse than mine, but still like so I could never compare my own to that, because his traumas are like really bad, and I can never know fully what somebody really feels like, because sometimes, you know, it's really difficult to measure trauma, because something that happened to you might have happened to somebody else, and you both experience that differently. So it's very difficult sometimes. Sometimes something hurts you like more than other things. Like, there are things that people think that they hurt me very, very much, and there are actually other things that hurt me more than those things, that people wouldn't think that hurt me more than those things. So people usually don't sympathize with me for the things that hurt me the most, because they think that they are nothing, and the things that hurt me the least, they sympathize with me the most. So that's very strange. So maybe it's the same with him, you know, you never know. Actually, he has been through like several traumatic things, and also like the thing that he feels the most traumatized by is not what people think. So yeah. I don't know why I ended up talking about this idiot. Because yeah, I call him an idiot, but it's not like he doesn't get offended by that. But I try not to do this in front of people, because then they would think that I'm mean, and that I'm mean to him, and he has been through so much, blah blah blah. But no, I just call him an idiot. He doesn't get offended by this. You know, it's just me calling him an idiot again. So yeah, he doesn't get offended by this. It's like me calling my brother an idiot. No. So here's a really nice church. I think a lot of them in Canada, they look quite similar. They have like this architectural style. Like, there's a lot of things made from brick, like the red brick, that are just red. They are not painted any color. And actually, I don't complain. I like red brick. So like, it's a small town. It's different than Vancouver, because it's like a small town. It has a small town vibe. There's a lot of tourists there. Even though like, the person in my hotel, like the hotel worker, receptionist, whatever, he was very surprised that I'm going to Victoria. He thought that Victoria is not, like, maybe he thought it's not interesting. Anyway, he was very surprised that I'm going so far away to see totems. But that's like the tallest totem, you know. So I'm going there, but it feels so strange, because like a few days ago it felt like winter when I arrived, and now it feels like spring. So strange. But I'm not crazy like those people. They are almost naked, and it's not that warm. I will never understand Canadian people about this. Like, they are walking almost naked. So this is a park, I think, in which the totems are those thingies to, like, when you want to cross the street. They are so different. You kind of just swipe your finger over them. You don't have to press them. They are so strange. Damn, they are very, very different. I'm not like a very park person, but I love those rocks. They are so cool. Like, it has to be so cool to come there and just relax on the rocks. I kind of see why people always go on holiday there. because they have a lot of place to chill out, and you know, the life is probably slower there because like not a big city life. Like those plants, they look so interesting. They don't look Canadian at all. They look like some Mediterranean plants. I don't know if they are Mediterranean plants, how they are kept alive here. It has to be very, very cold in winter because it's Canada. Maybe they have like a microclimate or something, but how are they kept alive? Also, like, I think in Vancouver I saw like a palm tree in front of somebody's house. How do they keep them alive? I know in Netherlands some people have palm trees, but Netherlands is not as cold as Canada is in winter. Oh my god, I thought that the tree was moving. It was just a human. Well, I am not a park person, not at all. Not by any means. Like, I really like this park. I think it's so cute. Like, I could even stay there just for the park. Just to walk to the park and just hang out there. And it's so cute. I don't know how, but they designed it so well. Like, it's so nice. For me, parks very often they are boring, especially if they are giant and you just walk and there's just green and, and trees and that's it. And this one looks really nice, maybe also because of the season, because the cherry blossom is blossoming. Oh, ducks. I really like this park, honestly. Like, I wasn't really excited for going to a park, but this one is really, really nice. Whoever designed this park has like made a perfect job. By the way, I don't know, it's a willow. Yeah, I really like willows. This tree, I really like them. I don't know why. I think they are super nice. There are some weasels, not weasels, squirrels. I said weasels because I was recently talking about weasels with my friend. Recently I just learned, I don't know if he was obsessed about them before. He's obsessed about weasels. He loves them. But I don't know why when I see a weasel or anything like similar to a weasel, it reminds me of him. It's the same friend that I said is very weird. So I saw a squirrel. And I was so surprised because they are so cute, by the way. This is not what surprised me, by the way. I'm surprised because the squirrel was not even afraid of me. And they are usually like so afraid of people. Like all of those wild animals. So I think they are already used to humans because like a lot of people come here. And that's so strange. Like, oh my god, like they always run away. And this one almost didn't run. It was so close to me. Like, they usually run away as soon as they see you. Like, in my town, these are not squirrels, but we have a lot of bunnies. And they always run away when they see anybody. And I always try to take a picture of them because they're like, oh, I found bunnies. But then they run away and I cannot take a picture. I cannot even take a picture because they run too fast. So, yeah, that's why I was shocked that this squirrel wasn't running away. My god, those trees are so amazing. This park is so cool. Like, I didn't expect it to be so cool, honestly. Maybe that's why people come to Victoria. Because this park is so cool. Oh my god, those trees. If I was a child, I would want to climb them so badly. Right now, I'm not going to be climbing them because I would, I have a bag. I'm not going to leave my bag and be climbing those trees, but they are so amazing. My god, I have to read about this park. What is the story of this park? Well, what are all of those species of trees and plants doing? Because they don't really look very Canadian. So, do they import them or something? And by the way, it looks like a theater or something like this. Because they are like, yeah, looks like a stage. I'm going to walk there because I have to be walking towards my totems. I have to remember my destination. My god, what is this sound? Maybe the weasels are fighting each other. I even have a tiny waterfall. It's so cool. By the way, I just recalled myself why I have to be in a hurry because my phone is dying, that's why. I didn't expect to see something so beautiful in this park.
Them is really fascinating, like truly, and the details. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I knew I liked totems, but I didn't think, even the fact that I had to go through this park made me even like more in the mood for this totem, all this atmosphere together. It really feels so magical. Like, and even somebody is playing drums somewhere over there, and hearing those drums, seeing those people like hanging out there, like seeing those beautiful mountains there. It looks much better in real life, the mountains. Like, on my phone it doesn't look as good, but all this feeling, it's magical. I would definitely go back there, and I will advise everybody to come back to this place. By the way, there's a pole with Canadian flag, and I wish I could video more of this because my phone is kind of dying. Maybe I will even come back tomorrow because I still have tomorrow left, but it will not be as magical as the sunset there. And I didn't even plan to be there at the sunset. It just turned out this way because I was talking to somebody. But it's so magical, like seriously, thank God for this. Myself, I really have to read about the history of this particular totem, because maybe the indigenous people, if they actually placed it exactly in this place, maybe they also felt that. Maybe I'm wondering if probably I'm not feeling the same the way they did when they were building this totem, but I'm feeling something really magical. Maybe that's why it's put exactly in this place. Maybe there's something special about this place, I don't know. Like, I'm not a new age person, definitely not. They kind of make me cringe, but not because I don't like the beliefs, mostly because all of those people who want to make a lot of money on selling people magical products that will make them whatever, mostly because of that. And those people buy all of those things and believe in those things, mostly because of the scammers. I have a bit of a cringe when I meet new age people. So I know that some people believe that there are like special places that have like special power. And it's interesting because recently I read that a lot of churches were built exactly on the places where previously other religions were. I mean, those people, they did it not because the places had special power, but because they wanted to kind of destroy the previous religion and kind of show the dominance. But at the same time, I think maybe there was some special power, if everybody wanted a place of worship at the same place, I mean, I wouldn't mind having like a church and a different thing next to each other, but that's me, And back then, in Middle Ages, people were kind of, I'm not saying people were not like this, but church was power, so people really wanted the power only to themselves. So yeah, so that's why they were like this. So they wanted to destroy the other beliefs, and it's still like, it still holds a lot of power. Here's my Mr. Giant totem. Oh, he's so big, he's so tall, oh my god. Like, honestly, it feels so magical to be there. Like, especially at the sunset and with this totem between the trees. Like, I have so many thoughts. Like, I could just sit there for hours, honestly. It feels so magical. I will definitely go back there. Even though it's so many hours by a ferry, I will definitely go back to Victoria, inshallah. It's magical, especially this totem between the trees in this forest, like next to the beautiful mountains and the sea, like the ocean and the flowers. Like, honestly, I cannot describe the way it feels, honestly. I went inside this restaurant completely randomly, and because I really needed to charge my phone, and I was thinking it would be very, very expensive, but honestly it wasn't as expensive as I was thinking. So it was not bad, especially that it's like an old building. That's why I was thinking it will be expensive, and it looks very fancy from inside and very cool, and the service was so nice. Like, they were so nice. And I ordered cheesecake because I absolutely love cheesecake. So I can never understand those traffic lights there in Canada. They are so strange. Oh yeah, I can walk. They are so strange. But by the way, unfortunately, I do not have a good equipment for filming at night. Everything looks disgusting on my camera because I'm filming with a phone that doesn't really... this is really bad at filming at night. But it was so extremely beautiful. Even when I was coming back, like the churches, I will go in that direction. I'm already feeling really cold because like it immediately gets much colder when the night comes. Oh my god, this totem is so beautiful. Because there are also like totems in middle of Victoria next to Museum of British Columbia. By the way, colonizers were so stupid, like they called everything the same. They were so uncreative, like they called things Colombia, they called Indonesia East India, they called peninsula on which Thailand and Vietnam is located and other countries, they called it Indo-Chinese peninsula. Like, you know, they thought that the only countries in Asia were India and China, you know. And they are so stupid, like, and also Venezuela, for example, means little Venice. Like they were so uncreative. Like they had to call New York, like York in England. Like they never make their own names. They always have to like. They were so uncreative. Like, oh my god. So yeah, it's British Columbia. Actually, some like provinces of Canada have really cool names, but I think they have like names that probably I think they come from some indigenous languages because they sound very cool. And I also think the same about some states in USA. Actually, I'm not sure if that's the true about any of those, like about Canada and about USA, but they have such cool names and they sound like this. This is the totem. It's so cute. I love totems. There's like several ones. There's like 3 in the back also, but they are like less colorful. I think they are faded a bit. I wish I had a better camera. Never mind, I'm gonna come here tomorrow during the day when the light is better. And I will take more pictures of those totems because like unfortunately, technology of my phone is pretty, you know, not really good, especially when it comes to like taking pictures at night and videoing at night. You see how bad it is. Like I really cannot, like I don't know why is it like that. It's always so annoying and so frustrating, especially that this church towards which I'm going looks so beautiful. And like, is it a church or is it something else? It looks so beautiful. Like the things that are shining in the back looks so beautiful in real life, but I cannot capture this. And there's this palace. It's so pretty. I'm also going to like video this from the other side because it's also very beautiful. Here's a monument. Here's like a arc, like similar to the one. Is it called an arc? I think so. Like a gate like this, similar to the one that there is in Berlin. So beautiful. Oh my god, I must read more about Victoria, about this place. Like I came here for the totems but I must also read about like the history of this place because it's truly like I absolutely didn't expect to love it so much. Like I was thinking maybe I would not even like it, you know, because it's a small town. I don't really like love small towns the way I like bigger cities. I find them more boring. But you know, it's so beautiful. And during the day I wouldn't guess that it would be so beautiful. I wouldn't even go to the park if there wasn't a totem inside. And the park ended up being so extremely beautiful. I've never seen a beautiful park like this. Like I wish I could, on my video, it could look as good as it did in real life, because even when I'm not videoing this at night, like somehow it still doesn't look in the camera as good as it does in real life, you know, because in real life there's a different perspective and like some things they are more like visible, and like real life looks so beautiful. Yeah, those plants, like this tree for example, they definitely do not look indigenous to this place. I think they are like imported from some other countries. I'm just wondering how they survive in this climate. Maybe this island has a bit different climate, because usually the climate is more mild when you are on the island. So, but is it that mild? Because like I don't think they like the frost. Is this an olive tree? I love olive trees. I was even talking about olive trees today. Oh my god, I was talking about olive branch. Oh my god, I wouldn't be myself because I was Yeah, it's a long story. Yeah, and I saw this from this side. It's so beautiful. Like from every side, pretty much, it's beautiful. Actually, I told one girl today why I like olives, and actually, like, like people would be scared of me if I told them why I like olives so much. I mean, I like them as themselves also as well. I like the taste of olives, but also, yeah, some people do feel threatened by olives because of the same reason I like olives. I mean, they some people actually start cutting out a lot of olive trees because of the same reason. Oh my god, I'm like rambling off topic. If somebody doesn't know what I'm talking about, most people don't know, and I must sound crazy. But I told her why I like olives, and I even have things with olives. Like I have socks with olives. When I see something with olives, I like. There's a lot of like kitchen things with olives, but what I like the most is like clothes with olives, and I hardly ever see any clothes with olives because people aren't crazy enough to put olives like on a t-shirt or something, but I would do that. If I was a clothing designer, I would do olive clothes. Like everything would have olives. I told her why I am planning to wear olive socks to New York. And absolutely, I am planning to wear olive socks to New York. Like I already made this plan. Like I bought those olive socks in Italy, and I was so happy that finally, like I found olives on something. Like people never make clothes with olives on them. So I would make them. I would make them if I was a clothing designer. Look at this view; it's so beautiful. Yeah, I already like made the entire outfit for New York City, and I made it like. Some of the things I already like knew a few years ago that I want. If I ever in my life go to New York City, I want to be wearing this. And I like some of the things I completed the outfit, and I was like, oh, I was buying this blazer, and I was like, if I ever go to New York City, I don't know if it ever happens, but I want to be wearing this. And I was buying it during Corona, when it was closed. But still, like you know, I had a vision. So. Yeah, it's very beautiful. I wish my camera was better. By the way, when I was paying in that restaurant, somehow the price that I was paying was exactly the configuration of numbers they find the most unlucky on planet Earth. And when I saw it, I was like, oh! But I didn't say anything. I didn't want them to know that I'm crazy. I mean, I'm not crazy. Actually, I think people are crazy if they think this configuration of numbers is lucky. And a lot of people believe it is. Actually, a lot of people believe that's like the most lucky configuration of numbers. And that's a blasphemy. Seriously, that's a blasphemy. I feel deeply offended when they say that. So I have only one personality trait. And like... hating this configuration of numbers and believing it's like the most unlucky, it's connected to my only personality trait. And the other thing connected to my only personality trait is me loving olives. So I'm even serious. I'm literally serious. Yeah, I'm very deeply offended. I think that's blasphemy, and I feel extremely offended by the fact that a lot of people commit this blasphemy, even though they should have known better. They definitely know. So why do they do that? So even when I was in one place, and there was like a restaurant or something. I was in one place that is like, if you are in that place. If you're very anywhere near that place, you definitely know that that's a very unlucky configuration of numbers. And there was a restaurant that had this configuration of numbers as a name. It was like right there, like maybe even on the same, on the next street basically. And I was like, murder? Doesn't this configuration of numbers sound like murder to you? For me it does. Like you definitely know it sounds like murder. Like there's no way you don't know. You live on a crime scene basically. So, oh my god, why do they do that? Like, why do they do that? Maybe because it's like a rich kid city. Like, oh my gosh, why am I talking about like some place that nobody talks what I'm talking? Like, nobody knows which place I'm talking about. That's how my brain works. Like, I try to talk about something, and then it kind of connects in my brain to something that is not connected to anybody else. And then I start talking about that. And then I start talking about something else that just came to my brain. And then people are like, what's going on? Yeah. I always hated everything at school about writing because I was always rambling off topic and teachers never liked it. The cinema looks so cool. It looks like cinema in the movies. Like when I would watch movies and there was a cinema, it looked like this. I loved how those trees are decorated. Like myself, like if I would see like trees like this in Europe, it would be like only like around Christmas mostly. I don't think I ever saw, like not counting like super like I don't know particular places where they had like a tree that was an attraction or something like this. They wouldn't like decorate trees like. But counting some places that there was a tree that was like a particular attraction, they wouldn't have like trees like this. At least I wouldn't see trees decorated like this, and not counting Christmas. So yeah, I'm going back to my hostel, which is very pretty by the way, and has like very much a vibe that reminds me of my previous campus. Made me feel young again. I mean, I still live in a campus, but like the other one. So, by the way, a lot of decorations in my current hostel are very much Indonesian style. I think they are even likely from Indonesia. Like not everything. I also saw something that was like Indian, but a lot of decorations they were like very Asian. Maybe because it's like an ocean in or something. So, you know. Indonesia also is like on the ocean.